So that's pretty much what my week. Blah 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 blah.
So I've just done my first day of the CELTA course. It is 9:15 in the evening. We started at 9:15 this morning, so I've pretty much been on it since, well, for 12 hours now. It's been quite a while. So we got there at 9, so we all got to know each other a little bit, introductions, all that sort of stuff, and then we went through some administration stuff and teaching techniques. Then we got to observe a lesson. We had lunch as well, that was nice. It was another opportunity to get to know each other, and then came home, cooked dinner, and that's been my day. So I'm going to do some lesson planning either now or more likely in the morning when I wake up, and I'll just wake up an hour earlier and just go to bed now. Fortunately for the first lesson, we've been given a lesson plan and we're just going to follow that through. We just have to edit a couple of things to make it a bit more personalised about ourselves. That's pretty much it. It's not particularly complex. We'll see how tomorrow goes, I guess. It's so hot right now. Apparently it's going to hit 40. I'm starting to get a bit red. I don't think really it's a normal thing in Poland, and the way Krakow is, it's sort of down in the mountains. The heat sort of congregates there. It just sits there and it's just hot and stuffy. Day 2's been good. Day 2 was really good. We had 3 observations. They were 45 minutes each. It was quite nice not having to teach on the first day. So, well done to the guys that did it. I'm really looking forward to teaching tomorrow. I'm first up tomorrow at 9 a.m, but that'll be fine. I had this afternoon to prepare for it a bit, and then we got a bit of help as well from the tutors. We had about a 40-minute session where we could just approach them and ask them if we had any issues with anything. It was really nice to be able to get that feedback from them. What we've had to do for a couple of us is actually create our own material, and included in that is scaling it and grading it to the language level. At first, I wasn't really sure how to do, and I kind of hit below the level, but when I asked the tutors, it did seem to be the right sort of level. Everyone at the centre is really nice. They're really welcoming. The tutors are fantastic. First input session today, that was an hour and a half on setting up activities. I felt it was nice for us. Anyway, that's day 2. As you can see, I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. Monday was shattering, and I imagine tomorrow will be too. Wednesday now, I did my first teaching practice today. It was really good. I think it went really well. It was nice to have seen 3 other people do theirs beforehand yesterday. It was nice to have seen some demonstrations from experienced teachers. The tutors during the input sessions, they use the techniques that we need to use in class. So because of that, we kind of know what we're going for and what we need to do. The students interacted with one another, they interacted with me. What I found really useful was going up to the students before the lesson, getting to know them, speaking to them, asking lots of questions and letting them respond likewise. There were some parts of the lesson I felt didn't go so well. I think that's normal though, especially during the first lesson. I think everybody was a little bit nervous, and I think maybe some people didn't show it as much, but everybody was nervous. I was sweating so much. It was like a rainforest on my face. It was horrible. So everybody now has taught once. We have a coursebook, so we're following the coursebook now. We have a lot more independence in our lesson planning, which is exciting. I say a lot more independence. It's following the book and making sure that we do the exercises and making sure we do them in a specific way, in a CELTA way. And that's good. I think it's good to drill how we need to teach. So tonight I am planning, and we got our first look at the assignments, so we've got a sheet now to look at. It rained today for the first time. It properly chucked it down, like full on for a good 3 or 4 hours, didn't stop. Been struggling to sleep. I don't know if that's because of just doing the course or because it's been so hot. But I think now that we've got into the flow of things, it's become a bit better now. Maybe next week, when we're assessed a bit more critically, will be interesting. I mean, this week it's very much praising us because I know there were things I did wrong. It could have gone better, my lesson. Anyway, to tomorrow, to Thursday. So yeah, it's Thursday now. Didn't record yesterday because I just forgot, to be honest. It's now Friday morning actually. I've got up quite early, it's 7:45 a.m. I'm going to head into school right now. I've got some things I just need to scan and print off. I think that's the thing about it, it's just loads and loads of prep. I don't think much of the prep is really difficult. It's just so much of it. And this week we're only doing the procedure pages of the lesson, so we're not doing everything that we have to do, blah 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 blah. We're just doing what we do when we do it. And you think, oh, that's a lesson plan and that's all you need to do. It's not. There's a lot more to do. So that's going to be starting next week. One thing that our teacher Basha said to us is that we kind of have to see it as in that this first week they really help us, and as we progress that help becomes lessened, and we have less and less help, and up until the final week where she said if we're ready we're free to just do it. It's a little bit intimidating knowing that in 2 weeks I'm going to be expected to just teach and not really have much guidance for it, but I guess that's real life, isn't it? You don't have loads of help when you're teaching in real life. You do what you have to do and you don't get people to help you. That's all for Thursday's bit that I'm doing on Friday morning. It's Friday, I've got teaching practice today. Feel ready for it. I prepared it all on Wednesday night after my first teaching practice. Just got a few things checked over with the tutors and it seemed to be fine. I hope it goes well. Okay, so week 1 is over. So we've come to this place called Buddha Bar, and it's just outside the British Council, which is probably a bad idea. It's got loads and loads of alcohol. So we're just gonna, what are we gonna load up on?
Wine.
Look at the camera.
Wine?
But I mean, it's not really the end of the whole course, so we can't like go all out. But we can have a few drinks, we can enjoy the night. And someone's coming over to say hello. This is, say your name.
Diogo.
And tell the lovely viewers about yourself.
I'm a bit shy. I don't like talking to people. I'm sometimes awkward. I'm strange. My parents don't like me at all.
Oh yeah, CP2 today, which apparently went well, but I've just realised there's loads of background noise. And it may well not have picked this up, but we'll see.
So week 1 is over now. What we've had to do this weekend is a language related task. We've been given 4 sort of chunks of language and we had to analyse the form, the meaning, the pronunciation and how we would teach it. So it's not really an essay, it's just like do this and analyse the whole piece of language, which is not too difficult. It was okay. It was just a lot of do this and then do this and then do this and then do this and then do it all again for another piece of grammar. We've also got to do our lesson planning for next week, so I'm about 3/4 of the way through my plan now. Well, on the first lesson it was, here is your plan, do this. There's not really much room for variety. On the second lesson, it's do this, use this text, and that's pretty much it. All we had to prepare was the procedure. So all we had to say is, we're going to do this and this and this and this. This week, however, or for week 2, we have to say all of the potential errors we're going to have, all of the potential problems the students will have, not just with the language, but also in the class. So, you know, some students contribute more than others, some students are very, very shy. Our plans now are a lot more in depth. It's not a bad thing, it just makes it, you know, it's a lot more work to do. We had a really nice evening on Friday, we just chilled a bit, you know, we have a whole weekend to do a 1,000-word assignment and do 1 lesson plan. It's kind of like during the week what we're doing is we're going into the classes and then at 6 p.m. we're going home and doing our lesson planning. So we've got a whole weekend to kind of do that lesson plan and to do the assignment. So it was quite nice on Friday night, just go for a few drinks and see everyone outside of the school, like properly outside of school. I spent some time with a friend of mine on Saturday as well, so that was quite nice. It was you know, just in the evening for a couple of hours, but you know, it's nice to not spend all your time doing intensive work. The input sessions are really good as well, because they don't just, it's not a lecture, it's very interactive and we speak with other people and it's, you know, like, do this activity, pretend you're the students, and it's actually really fun, and maybe I don't pay enough attention, but it's a really enjoyable way of learning it all. How would I assess my first week of teaching? I think it went pretty well. I'm bang on the rapport. I'm good at the rapport. I think that's my strongest aspect. Apparently my planning is really, really good. You know, it's quite awkward during feedback when I genuinely feel like my lesson's gone terribly. And I was like, oh no, it really wasn't. Really? I don't know if I believe you. We always have 3 targets that we need to achieve for the next lesson. That's pretty much what my weekend's been, just doing this work and just being at home. Hopefully next week get everything done nice and easy. I mean, lesson plan is for Tuesday, and if I've got it done now, then it means tomorrow night, Monday, I get that free. And we're going to be starting the next assignment during next week, and that is about needs of the learner. So that's going to be quite interesting because it's an analysis of an individual student, why they make mistakes and how I think it's about how those mistakes can be corrected. But it's definitely about a learner, and it's sort of like analysing them and their work. So until next week, see ya.